Welcome to Interesting Enough. He is Trey. I am Nolan. Thank you guys so much for joining us once again. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, like, subscribe, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff. Got to get that out the way. We got a lot to talk about. We got a bunch of special guests, one unexpected special guest. So JP and Jesse are both back. Jesse missed our first half of the podcast with the MVP stuff. Jesse, man, how's it going? How you feeling?
Good, man. I'm feeling great. I'm excited to get into this.
All right, we got JP here. He's back. JP, what's going on?
Ready for part two, man. Let's get it.
And then part two, back by, I don't know if this was by special request. I don't know who requested this guy, but Hakeem is back in the building. Former, or I guess current Orlando Magic fan. He wanted to come in and talk about that. Fresh off the Magic loss, unfortunately. Hakeem, man, how you feeling?
What's good, brother? It's phenomenal to be back on this Interesting Enough podcast, bro. Let's get into the action, brother.
All right, so Trey, we were going to start talking about the NBA playoffs. We'll get to all that stuff. We'll get to how you guys feel about the Magic. That's the first game that's done. But as we're about to drop this podcast, we're recording this on a Saturday. Kanye dropped a verse in response to. Actually, we don't even know who he was responding to be honest. I didn't even know. No one knows if Kanye was actually involved in any rap beef. We know this is Kanye West and Drake. So I guess we'll start with the Kanye part first. Well, Trey, I mean, you what did you think about the verse? Because you basically introduced it to us.
Well, no. Hakeem introduced it to us. I just said, let's go listen to it.
Okay, so
The first thing I'm thinking is, it was a good verse, but I guess I just have to ask you guys, why did he get involved? Like, I'm just getting confused because now we got Chris Brown and Quavo going at it. We had Rick Ross. Now we got Kanye. Like, why is he involved? And why are so many other people getting involved in this when it seems like it was only between 3 people at first?
Yeah, the only thing I know of it, and I guess, Keem, you could kind of brief us on it more. I know that Kanye basically entered himself into this when he was tweeting about that his catalogs is better than all his other guys anyway. Like when Kendrick and Drake were going back and forth, and then like with J. Cole. So do you have anything to add to that? Am I missing anything?
Yeah, so I know we all grew up watching wrestling. So what this is a Money in the Bank match. You know when they used to be fighting. They used to come out with a briefcase and open it up and put themselves on the ground. This is what that is, brother. Kanye said, "Oh, hold up. I know y'all just had a whole battle, but I'm putting myself in the beef, brother." So that's exactly why Kanye is in this, for no reason other than to put his name out there amongst this 20 versus 1 that Drake is battling. So there's that.
I don't really know what to make of that. I'm guessing everybody is on the opposite side of Drake. That's kind of what this feels like. Metro's still making drums according to Drake. Like, I don't know. There's so many things I can't keep track of. Like, I actually don't even know how to feel about this. But Jesse, I haven't got your thoughts too much about it as far as recently. So let's just talk about the first part of this. What are you feeling in terms of the J. Cole apology? Because that was the main thing that got everybody. So we heard the J. Cole thing, and then he apologized. Like, where do you go with the apology first? Let's start on the nicer side, if you can. You know, that's my guy. And then we can kind of just go from there.
I feel like in the rap game, if you be an adult, like, you get frowned upon. And people are just ratchet, man. It's like, oh, you teach your children to apologize. You teach adults to apologize when we make a mistake. You own it. And he did what we tell people to do. But because it's this culture we got, it's like, oh, you're making a big deal for no reason. That's just my personal opinion.
Okay, and JP, I wanted to ask you this because it's something that crossed my mind when Trey and I were talking a couple weeks back. When I first heard the Kendrick verse, I didn't really take the verse as some like crazy shot, especially like not at J. Cole directly. And I mean, it had like one major line in it. It was a very, very good verse, but like I didn't feel like the verse was like some crazy volatile situation. Was I just looking at that wrong, or like how did you take it when you first heard it, as opposed to maybe how you feel about it now, like after all these other things have transpired?
When I first heard it, I thought maybe it's one of the guys from the first person shooter song. So I was like, all right. He said no sneak, and he went at him. I was like, okay. And then I'm like, yes, we're going to have some blood out here. Then J. Cole responded, and that's what I wanted. And then he apologized, and I was like, I get it. He 40, he a family man. I get it. But I wanted blood, bro. Like, I wanted blood for real. And he even addressed that in the apology. I was like, stop doing this. This is not what I wanted.
Okay, and Keem, I know you and I talked directly, and you thought it was lame. So maybe expound on that for the people that haven't heard it.
So first thing first, I don't think it's lame, right? But you got to remember, as a consumer, like, this is all the entertainment business, brother. Like, this is like watching the NBA. This is watching NFL. This is watching golf, watching the Masters. So, like, I don't think it needed an apology at the sense of this is just like two lyricists going at each other. There's going to be no bloodshed on this. Like, this is literally the entertainment business. So, like, you said what you said, just stand on it. Even if you, like, now you feel some type of way, you already said it, you already meant it, just stand on it. Don't go back and double back. And so that, at the as J. Cole as a person, I don't know none of these guys. So I really don't, like, I can't even speak on J. Cole as a person. But as J. Cole as an entertainer, I lost some respect for him.
Okay. And then Trey, and anybody can jump in here at this point. Trey, actually, I'm not even going to ask Trey, because Trey feels that, or we basically feel, Trey feels that this is the 2011 finals like LeBron was. He made that great correlation. I think that's makes sense, where this is going to be a stand on J. Cole's legacy, but if he ends up still dropping great music going forward, we're kind of all living with that. I guess Hakeem, or Jesse at this point, I mean, or even Jesse, or JP. What does this look like for J. Cole going forward? Because I feel like the music, and just to answer your question, Hakeem, I think a reason that J. Cole made of not wanting to continue with this is, though no blood was going to be shed, people was really just listening to his last project just to hear if he was going to respond to Kendrick. So I feel like he doesn't want like a phony #1 album where like people are only going to listen to it just for like that specific reason. I think he wants people to actually go to it to listen to the actual music, which, by the way, I thought the actual music was good on the last project. So, I mean, I guess, Jesse, you can go first there. I mean, what does this look like for J. Cole's legacy going forward? I mean, is he just like completely out of these conversations with like the greatest guys ever now because he like walked away from this?
I don't think it should really. I think this is like a small little take. There's a lot of worse things that these dudes out here doing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna get into no cheeks getting clapped or nothing, but
Well, hold on in a minute.
No dick.
No diddy. No diddy.
but I think he gonna be good, man. He's gonna recover. I mean, he already low key, so it's like he'd be under a rock until he's not. So, I mean, he gonna be forgotten about it, and then out of nowhere he's gonna drop some fire, and everybody's gonna be back like, oh, there's Jermaine.
And Keem, you said, I don't know, actually remember exactly what you said, but what's the stand on his legacy on your end of it?
If we're being honest, like J. Cole's last like maybe 2 years body of work was kind of like trying to solidify himself at that top 3. So like I just don't think it's a battle between like who really is #1. I think if you're really talking 1 and 2, it's Kendrick and Drake. That 3 now I think it's like 1 and 2. Like it's Michael Jordan and LeBron, and then like everybody else. It's like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like I think he's back in the tier with Big Sean going at it.
What?
That's a drop. That's a drop.
That's just me. That's just me.
He's in a tier with Big Sean?
He's back in the tier with like, well, in retrospect, like who is number like 4, right? Like whoever is number 4,
Kanye.
Well, put Kanye over Cole. Like there's like whoever you think you're like, I don't think he's even in like that conversation. Like I don't want to hear Drake, Kendrick, and Cole no more. It's Drake
because
and
he
Kendrick.
apologized.
Well, it's not because he apologized. I think it's more of the fact.
Hakeem. Why you lying?
It's just like your last 2 years of bodies of work have been about like you're trying to cement yourself, and then you're like, nah, I'm just kidding. Like, I don't want no I don't want no issues. I want no beef. Because if you in reality, 7-minute drill, he really didn't even say nothing crazy. It was light jabs. He said more to Wale and his diss to him. He said more to Kanye.
Here you go, bringing a Wale. We got 11 minutes in, and you had to bring a Wale. Here you go.
No, I'm just saying. Like he said more then. However, but this one, you want to apologize. and Kendrick didn't even say nothing to him. That just don't. You can't.
You know,
you
I
can't
think
solidify
I'm rocking
myself.
with Hakeem. That makes sense. What do you say makes sense?
Okay, let me say this, and I'm gonna let JP jump in. So we just go ignore his body, his last two bodies of work because of an apology. So because my thing is what has Kendrick done to be in the conversation in the top two? He dropped one album in the last 5 years.
Well, let me say this.
He dropped one verse. J. Cole has been bodying guest verses for the last 2, 3, 4 years. He's dropped multiple projects. Kendrick is sitting at home on his hands, dropping one album that a lot of people didn't even like. So I'm confused why, if J. Cole is not in this conversation because of an apology, and this guy jumped on a beat on a Metro beat and dropped one verse and one line, and now he's like he's allowed to be in the conversation. We're just gonna ignore that he barely drops any music. I don't know. That's
Well, Nolan, hold up. I'm gonna say this. Now, you and I, we know we're both huge Cole fans. You know, we agreed on that.
Yeah.
I would say the one thing that hurts it, as far as my opinion goes, is that J. Cole over these last 2 or 3 years, as Hakeem mentioned, he's been building a lot of his reputation on I'm one of the big three. You know, I'm the Muhammad Ali of the rap game. And now I still love J. Cole. No. But I'm just saying. Yeah, but I'm just saying a lot of his lines have been in that kind of vein. Like, I'm one of the best in the rap game, or I am the best, I should say. And now I still like J. Cole. Of course, he's still in my top three, without a doubt. But what I will say is that the lines, when he says that in the future, it won't hit the same. Like, if he says he's the greatest rapper of all time, or he's the greatest rapper alive, I'm gonna kind of roll my eyes a little bit when I hear it.
Because
like, I'm being honest.
So he's not as talented anymore because he's a nice guy.
No. Well, I think let me break it down real quick. I think what adding on Hakeem and Trey, if we treat this as a sport, right, entertainment or whatever you want to call it, right, entertainment, but we have the same type of sport context. If you're a boxer and you're one of the best and you got to fight with somebody, and it's now fight night, you threw the first punch, or you get punched, you throw two back, and he go get ready to punch you, and you just go and you literally throw in a white flag. You're not even hurt. You quit, so you can't be the greatest boxer no more. If we put it in basketball terms, and you in a matchup with somebody else, and they get to the point he giving you buckets, you like, I need a switch. I don't want to guard him no more. You're not the best.
No, that's not football.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
If we playing football and you want to say, "Oh, I'm the best corner of all time," and now you got one of the best wideouts, and he cooking you, you're like, you know what? He's better than me. I don't want to. I want to flip no more.
That's not.
That's literally what just happened. No, but that's
exactly what happened.
No. That would have made sense if he didn't drop a verse that was actually good with it. Remember, he dropped the verse and then apologized for it. So basically, that's like saying if you play in one-on-one in basketball, y'all both scored on each other, and if you fell, he just helped you up off the ground. And he's like, nah, I'm good.
No, it's not, Nolan. No, it's not. No, it's not. No. That's like we playing basketball. I scored a point, and Jesse scored a point. And then I'm like, well, Jesse scored a point. Let me back out. I'm good. Right? That's exactly what it is.
No.
Okay, so you spared him. You're a nice guy.
Hey, but the thing is, I would respect it more if Jesse had to score points. You scored a bucket on him, and you just didn't like how his defense stance. He was like, yeah, I'm good, brother. Good.
JP, what you think? Because you've been quiet. What you think, man?
First things first, I'm listening to everybody. I don't care. I'm old. I'm going to listen to everybody. But my question is this. If we really want to get down to this whole beef about the top three, because I like Kendrick, I like J. Cole, and I like Drake. If you can only listen to one, nobody's picking Kendrick.
Yeah. So that's a good point. And that's my point. It's like, I feel like we're waiting. We're putting too much weight on this situation with J. Cole. Like, I agree with y'all with the apology. Probably the apology. He's a bigger man. He's a nice guy. But like, into the rap game, it's not really the greatest thing in that competition. But that can't weigh more than the actual bodies of work and actually his resume of dropping music. Like that's where I get confused. I'm like, oh, so he's not in the. I can understand him getting a ding on the resume. I agree. But how is that more of a ding than why doesn't Kendrick get a big enough ding on his resume for not dropping enough music? That's where it's confusing to me.
Kendrick's the modern day Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's how I feel right now.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar actually played in games, so
no, but the dude is talented, and now we got Michael Jordan, LeBron. It's like, oh, we forgetting about this dude. That's how it is with Drake and J. Cole. It's, oh, we don't just forget about Kendrick. Like his ability to put down words and make it sound cool, I guess. That's all this is, right? That's all the rapping is.
Mhm.
Writing down words and having a rhythm and a flow. He got one of the coldest. They just don't always come out to the greatest work for the sense of entertainment. But when you like break it down and you like read and you listen, the dude, he's
Ain't
nice.
nobody trying to do all that. See, that's the problem. Ain't nobody
Well,
trying to
it's
do
an
all
art,
that
though.
reading.
It's an art.
We trying to
You got-
listen to music.
But the problem is you trying to take away from the art. It's like that's all I'm trying to say. You're taking away
This
from
ain't the
the
Mona Lisa, bro. See, that's what I'm talking about, bro. This Kendrick stuff, bro. Like, oh, you got to break down his lyrics. Be like, bro, ain't nobody trying to do all that, bro. It's not school, bro. Just put out some good songs on some good beats, bro. It's not complicated, bro. Go with that Pimp a Butterfly mess somewhere else, bro. Like, we're not
Oh, hold on. That was a good album. We're not gonna do that.
Nah, if we would have talked about the last album, we could dismiss it like that one.
No, the Pimp the Butterfly was good. So, hold on, JP, that wasn't a good album. No, that wasn't a good album.
No,
The Pimp a Butterfly?
no.
Yes.
I like to pimp.
No. We just had this discussion before the podcast. So what's one of those songs you still listen to right now?
Mortal Man,
Oh my God!
Institutionalized.
You not
Come on, don't play that with me.
Hold on.
All right,
Hakeem,
all right.
Hold on. I'm just gonna fill Hakeem in because he wasn't here for this part of this. For context, Hakeem, you know how he feels about Drake, maybe or maybe not having a great album. So we were talking about that. We asked him. Jesse's made a good point. He was like, "If I know an album's great, if you listen to a song that's on that album now, like if it's still in your rotation." And Trey said he doesn't listen to any of the songs and Nothing Was the Same, or none of the songs in Take Care. None of them is in his rotation. But you're telling me Mortal Man and To Pimp a Butterfly is in your rotation and not come through.
No, you
or
said
any
what
songs
would I
off
listen to?
another-
I said I would still listen to those songs.
No,
Okay, so which one's in your rotation?
Mortal Man's not it, bro. We gotta say like King Jesus. All right.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Listen,
Yeah, you could've
I'm gonna say
just
this:
go
To Pimp a
iPhone.
Butterfly, it was for specific ears. Like I'm gonna say that it wasn't for like the mass public, like a Drake album where it's for everybody. It wasn't pop related, anything like that. It was for specific people, but it was still a great album just for those specific people.
Okay, the thing with the Kendrick, and I actually am a fan of Kendrick, and I hate to be on the opposing side of this. It's like I feel like we just make excuses for Kendrick, but then J. Cole has one apology, and it's like, oh, it's the end of the world. He's no longer part of the big three. Like Kendrick could just do whatever he wants. He could drop a trash album. He can not make music for 5 years.
But he ain't back down.
But
He ain't back out.
Yeah, you're
Say
right.
what you
You're
want
right.
about
You're-
Kendrick, but he ain't back out. And I'm a big, I'm a bigger
that's
J.
right.
Cole fan, but he ain't back out.
No, you're right. You are right. He did not back out, and I'm never gonna argue that J. Cole backed out. He didn't. I'm fine with that. But how many features has Kendrick been on in the last couple years that he's bodied, and how many features has J. Cole been on that he's bodied? How many albums?
And that's the one saving grace for J. Cole. That's the one reason why I disagree with. When I'm not gonna like put him in the same category as Big Sean. That's why I disagree going that far. He's still
The Big Sean thing was asinine. That was ridiculous that you even said that. But I mean, I just feel like I guess we're going in circles. But my whole thing is, where are we weighting these things? And I think that the narrative, when we like listen to social media and stuff, it's like, I understand the apology thing wasn't great in terms of aesthetics for the rap game, but I just don't think that that's enough to be like he's just no longer in the conversation of them three. Fine, if you want to say he can't be number one, that's fine. I'm fair with that. But come on now,
he can't be number two.
Everyone, this is what I got. This is my thought. God bless his soul, Vontae, but he pulled Devontae Davis and quit at halftime, boy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's not Vontae Davis quitting at halftime. This would be like Darrell Reeves quitting at halftime. So Darrell Reeves is just like, you know what I'm saying? So what does that mean? He still wasn't great just because he left in the middle.
I mean, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. I know that much.
It does. I'm agree with Jesse. I think that's a perfect example. It leaves a bad taste.
With that being said, we all, I'm sure, listen to Diddy, watch Diddy. I bet you don't feel the same way now because of what he just did, right?
By who?
Diddy.
You said who?
Oh, that's crazy.
Who's listening?
Diddy.
Wait.
Exactly. You trying to get us kicked off. You can't say his name.
I'm saying though, like
you can't even post this no more.
I bet you everybody was watching,
Let's start
making
it
the
over.
fans and watching all these things that he was doing, and now ain't nobody talking to that. That's all I'm trying to say.
That comparison is crazy. But
I'm just saying that bad taste can impact how people think of it.
okay, let me just move this part of the conversation forward.
All right, go.
How does J. Cole and we'll throw to JP first. How does J. Cole ever get his way back into that big three conversation, or is it just not possible? That's my question. And does it have to be something J. Cole does, or maybe Kendrick has to flop, or like, give me a scenario if you feel like he's not part of this, where he can be back in that conversation.
His next album got to be like a legit classic.
Yep.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
So everybody agrees that next album got to be a classic. So
Yes, sir.
Yep.
let me just drop another scenario. You guys tell me if this works or doesn't. Let's say before he drops his next album, right? So the next album doesn't happen yet. Let's say Kendrick responds next week or whatever, and it's just okay. It's just an okay response. Like we just all agree Drake bodied him. Now what?
Drake went
J. Cole
against
still number
20
3.
and won. Oh, bro, you ain't gonna hear the end of it.
Well, no. I mean, I'm saying where I guess more that'd be fine. Drake can have the mantle. Then where do we view Kendrick and Cole?
They his sons.
Yeah,
Yeah, they 2 and 3 respectively.
yeah, they could battle.
So
Yeah,
the
they
answer
his
is
sons.
The answer is we wouldn't care, basically. 'Cause it would
No,
just be-
they 2 and 3 respectively. J. Cole would still be 3.
Yeah. So what I would say, it would Drake would have he'll sit on the throne at 1, Michael Jordan, and then everybody else would have to try to fight to get number 1 if Drake beats out Kendrick in this beef.
I don't know. That's tough. All right, let's switch a little bit of gears here. Let's go back to the Kanye thing. What does Kanye have to gain out of any of this? Like
He want attention. That's all.
Some strings.
Well, yeah. What does Kanye have to gain with anything?
Yeah, he crazy.
He just want attention. That's all.
He's not crazy. He's saying like Ryan Garcia, just acting crazy.
Nah,
Ryan
both of them
Garcia
crazy.
Tripping, boy. He's right.
Yeah, they both crazy. Oh yeah, no.
Ryan Garcia
just-
drank a beer, knowing he wasn't gonna make weight, and got the nerve to be talking about like all this other. Like you really could have got a title. You said I don't want it.
And he lost $1.5 million because he got they took that out of his contract.
Yeah,
Ryan Garcia is just
Garcia's an
crazy.
idiot. He need to go somewhere for a little bit and find.
I think ever since what Javante Davis did to him, threw him off, bro.
Bro, you know what
Yeah,
killed me? You know what killed me is he wouldn't be talking about Jesus and all this. He literally started cussing out the crowd, talking about suck my dick, and I'm like, what happened? You made us look bad. You made us look bad right now. Tripping.
Yeah. All right, so we'll pay attention. We'll kind of like follow up with the music stuff as it goes on. It's just ironic that we were about to talk about basketball and Kanye dropped the verse.
Yeah, it's too fresh to
yeah.
speak about Kanye right now.
Yeah, so we'll
Yeah, we
follow
ain't paying
up
no
on this.
attention to him.
Maybe the next time we do this, maybe J. Cole is 6 months from now, he drops the album. Who knows? We might feel differently. But anyway, let's talk about basketball. Let's get that out the way. I know these boys want to talk about the Magic, so we'll give y'all a couple minutes. Magic just played. Well, as we're recording this, the Magic played their first playoff game. They lost. It is game 1. I just want to.
Why you explain it like that?
Hey, listen, I'm just here to tell the truth. Let me just tell everybody this before they go on their diatribe. It's game 1. The amount of overreactions people get to game 1 is insane. So just want to point that out. But Hakeem, you're the guest, so we'll go to you first, and then we'll talk about some of the rest of the playoff series. How are you feeling after game 1? I know, are you any type of optimism going forward, or was it just one of those completely unsettling, and you just not sure if you even want to watch the rest of the series?
So I'll say this, Nolan. So I talked to you either this morning or yesterday, and it was pretty much. I told you I didn't know about going against the Cavs just because like how the lineup was. They got some big bodies in there, and I feel like that doesn't work well with our team. That being said, after watching the game, how poor of a game that our front court had, I feel a little bit more comfortable because I don't think they have that game again. I don't think Cole, Jalen Suggs, and Markelle Fultz go like 5 for 26 or whatever the hell they just did again in a series versus Cleveland. Granted, Cleveland did shoot very poorly. However, Cleveland doesn't have the defensive front court that the Orlando has. So I can see us having the defensive intensity to reproduce that, but I don't see Cleveland having the defensive intensity for 7 games to have our front court shoot as poorly as they did. So I feel good. We'll see after game 2, because who knows if they do it again. We'll just have to see it when we go home. Because Orlando they're like I think the number 3 team when playing at home. So like we do struggle on the road. And you can watching the game and the land like that definitely helped Cleveland out. Just all the ref you suck chants and all the cheers that Cleveland got. I think it did play a role. Probably maybe even a 5-point, 6-point swing that Cleveland got from the fans. But so I'm feeling pretty good. We'll see how it goes.
And Trey, I mean, this is a Magic first playoff game in a while. First playoff game for a lot of those guys. So there probably some playoff nerves, anything like that. Is there anything that you're gonna, take into game 2 as to look forward to?
I think the main thing I would look forward to in game two is we saw Paulo. He was clearly the number one guy. And it's kind of like what you and I talked about off the podcast. Who's going to be that number two guy? And not to put words in your mouth, but I think you said that you thought Franz would be a number three guy, but you didn't think he would be a number two guy. Well, in this case, can anybody step up? Maybe Franz himself can step up and be that number two guy offensively and take over some of that burden. Maybe Cole Anthony will step up. Maybe Jalen Suggs would surprise us all to step up. But I think that was really the main point I took away from that. Who's going to be the next one to step up offensively? Because defensively, we didn't look too bad. We did make this game a rock fight, which is what we need to do in order to win. But I mean, once you end the third quarter and you only have 59 points, who are you beating like that in today's game?
Yeah.
So I just think we have to find some kind of scoring output, some kind of consistent scoring output from somebody else not named Paulo.
Yeah, that's a good point. And again, Akeem made a good point. It's really hard to play that horribly. And it's these guys' first playoff game. It's probably unlikely that they're going to shoot that bad. Jesse, JP, any thoughts on anything with the Magic games in the series? I know, JP, we were kind of on the pod when it happened. Jesse, I don't know if you got to catch any of it or not.
Like Trey said, and Hakeem said they don't. I don't see Cole and Suggs and Fultz having a bad shooting game like they had today. 59 points at the end of the third is that's a recipe for a blowout, as we pretty much saw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, correct, absolutely. Jesse, unless you want to talk about the Magic, what series are you looking forward to the most? I can hear somebody's series actually in the background. What series are you looking forward to the most? And then we can kind of like just talk about that.
Well, first off, real quick with the Magic, I've been saying this for probably a good 2 years now. They got all these inconsistent, young talented guards. They need to package them boys for an actual point guard. That's all I've been saying. But in terms of series that I'm most looking forward to, I can't help but just like to watch LeBron play. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying this may be our last time watching him in the playoffs. So I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, okay, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But I think in terms of just
it's gonna be quick too.
Talent. I think that Suns Timberwolves series will be like
just like the Heat. They're gonna be quick too.
You got a lot of time, Jesse. So you watch. It's gonna be quick too.
Yeah, Suns Timberwolves. I think that's gonna be the best one in terms of just you don't know what's gonna happen with that one. They got two qualified teams, qualified scorers. So we're gonna see what happens with some superstars when they meet.
Does anybody? Because I feel like most people I talk to, everyone's kind of picking the Suns for the upset. Is anybody on here actually picking Minnesota?
I am. The Suns ain't got no bench, and their big three is a big two because Bradley Beal don't show up half the time. Not half the time, more than half the time.
So you are so you're confident in Minnesota just because of the bench part? You feel like they're not going to fold under the pressure? I mean, they were in the playoffs last year, but
I think Cat's back today, right? Cat playing today, right? Yeah. Them boys are gonna win, boy. Because Suns ain't got no big man, no bench. I don't like the Suns roster.
I was just saying. So, what's the scenario? I guess Trey, what's the scenario if the Suns do lose in the first round? Like, is this whole like we got to reset some things? Is it just we kind of got to retool the roster? I mean, I know they're kind of on the hook for a lot of these guys anyway, and then they just re-signed Grayson Allen, who had a great year. What would be the next steps? I mean, I know we're kind of foreshadowing. I'm already like basically saying they lost, but what would be the scenario, the doomsday scenario, if they did lose in the first round?
No, I think you just retool. You try to get a real point guard because that's obviously what the Suns need. And then you hope that in a year where they only play like 10 regular season games together, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal can play together and start to gel a little bit better together with Frank Vogel, a new head coach for them. And you hope that they have a little bit of better outcome next year. Because like Jesse said,
I was gonna say, do they need a point guard though?
Yes.
It wouldn't hurt. I mean, you had Devin Booker trying to be the main facilitator when he's a legitimate scorer. I mean, he just needs to be focused on scoring. So like having a just a facilitating point guard, that would not hurt. I think that's just one of the things you can do along the edges just to make the team a little bit better.
Because to me, the only reason I ask is if you look at some of the numbers, Devin Booker is a really good facilitator in terms of even for a couple years ago until now. I know it doesn't look ideal like on paper. Like if you're playing 2K, you don't put Devin Booker as your point guard. But I mean, having him on the court facilitating, he looks like he's willing to do that. I feel like a lot of more mainly their issues are like the other guys. I do not believe in Nurkic. We've already seen enough Nurkic evidence that like I'm good. And then any of those guys that they have at the forward spots, the Royce O'Neals, those like complementary players, that it's not Grayson Allen. That to me feels like the bigger concern. I mean, Jesse, what do you think roster wise? I mean, like, what do you see with them in terms of this series, and then maybe even going forward? Like, what would be their biggest need?
They are screwed. They gave Grayson Allen. He played a wonderful year, but you can't pay your 80% of your roster to 4 players, 2 of which ain't playing half the time. And then none of these dudes play no defense. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm just, you need defense to win. First off, foremost, you need defense. The whole point guard thing, I don't care about point guard. You need someone that knows how to create a tempo and actually control a game off a tempo versus, oh, I'm gonna just bring the ball down the court and pass it. No, you need to create shots for other people, not just yourself. So I don't know what they will do. I mean, I know what you need to do, but they're not gonna do it. It's just gonna be bad for the next 5 years until KD retires, Booker finally leaves, and yeah.
Wow, that was pretty bleak. I mean, Jesus. I mean, you've already it's horrible for the next. Wow, I was just talking about this offseason, but all right, they're just not going to be good going forward, according to you. But JP, let's swing to another series. What's standing out to you? Like, what series are you like? I gotta watch all of these games, kind of going forward.
Oh, the Luca and Dallas and Clippers. I think that's gonna be.
Boy said Luca.
No, you said it right. The Lucas. He called it.
Luka and his homeboy Kyrie.
Yeah.
Luka and his homeboy Kyrie.
This is like the first year that the Clippers are actually healthy, so I'm actually interested to see like did this experiment that they had with Paul George and Kawhi actually pan out, or did they?
Well, they're not healthy.
They're healthier than they've been. Like usually, one of them.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but Kawhi, Waj just put out a report like 10 minutes ago where Kawhi is looking like he's not likely to play game 1.
But this time, like the last few years, either one or the other was out completely, and they were like, and everybody was like, "Oh, if they make it to the conference finals, then they'll be fully healthy." And I'm like,
and they have the insurance policy of James Harden. They didn't have James Harden last year.
Yeah,
just saying. I know people have been down on James Harden, but this is why you get a guy like James Harden, because sometimes Paul George or Kawhi, one of them is probably gonna miss some time because that's just what they always do. So you kind of have, those guys basically, for that reason. But I mean, who are you picking in that series, JP?
Dallas.
You think it's a long series?
I think it's 7 games. At least 6 at the minimum, but Dallas.
What do you think, Hakeem? Because that to me is like one of the hardest series to pick, even though like my brain's kind of telling me Dallas, but I don't know. I've seen Kawhi when he's healthy in the playoffs, even if he can play only half the series.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of like. I'm looking up. I looked up the Clippers bench, so they don't have trouble. But I mean, if this was their prime years of all these guys, they would go on a three-peat. But these dudes are old. Like Russ is old. James serviceable. Kawhi hurt. Paul George serviceable. So I mean, like, look, Daniel Tice.
Hey Hakeem, you looking at them on the internet or are you using 2K?
I'm using the internet.
Okay, I just wonder. Listen, 2K.
That's a good idea.
I like their depth. I like Norman Powell, Russell Westbrook, Terrence Mann. I mean, like I like the guys that they bring off the bench. I just think the playoffs is about.
That was it though.
Who's your best guy?
Ty Jones. Who else you got?
Kai Jones is on the comeback trail. Kai Jones on the comeback trail.
As long as you don't
And no,
start
Kai
getting
Jones
ego.
need to sit right there with Kanye and Ryan Garcia.
Don't do Kai Jones like that. He got rid of all that, man. Once he cut the hair, all that went away, man. I'm telling you, once he cut the hair, he's in a good spot. But speaking of that, Trey, what playoff series are you looking forward to?
Honestly, I'm looking forward to the Miami Heat playoff series because they're gonna get creamed
God.
by the Boston
Here
Celtics.
Why
So I
you
just
got
want you to know that.
Kareem?
So you said something about LeBron, so I just had to let him know.
I didn't.
I feel you.
I,
You did.
I said that. First of all, I said the truth about LeBron.
You did.
And I'm telling the truth about Miami.
Ooh, he
I
ain't
think-
lying.
I think
I bet the Heat win more games in this series than the Lakers.
Oh, you crazy.
No, but like if we're gonna
No,
be
I'm serious.
honest, the Miami is like the dark horse team. Like
They always
I've hated Miami all my life. I'm 28 years old. I've hated Miami 28 years. They've been always the dark horse that you never wanted to see, even at their dark years. Like when it's like
And we
random guys.
missed to steal your girl. Don't bring your superstar down to our city, boy, because he gone.
No, who gonna score? You ain't got Jimmy Butler. Who gonna score? Ain't nobody worried about no Miami.
Tyler Hero,
So Tyler Hero can't score now.
Highsmith.
So if Scary Terry play,
He's not
Scary
playing.
Terry
No,
could get a
he's
bucket.
not playing.
Boy, he got a net brace on. He ain't playing.
This is crazy.
I'm trying to tell you, bro.
he don't have
The
a net
Heat.
brace.
I was telling them this earlier, bro. The Heat.
He just
You'll watch the Heat. You'll be like, oh, this dude good. This dude good. This dude good. And you know what's gonna happen? The next year, the boys gonna go to the Lakers. That's how it happens every year, boy.
Listen. I mean, like I was telling JP and Trey, I like this Heat team better than last year's team if everyone was healthy. The problem is just everybody ain't healthy. Like this is a better roster. Like Jaquez, Jovic, you lost Strus and Gabe Vincent, and you basically replaced them with Terry Rozier and Duncan Robinson. So who's a better Duncan Robinson? So I mean, it just thinks injuries is a part of the playoffs. Every playoffs has some type of injuries that affects it. Not saying that the Heat were going to win the championship or anything like that, but they could have definitely made it, interesting going forward. I mean, we see it interesting now. I mean, we haven't even talked about the Knicks Philly series. I guess we can talk about that now. We would probably be talking about the Knicks in a whole different light if Julius Randle was there. But all of a sudden, Julius Randle's not there, and Embiid is back from injury. And is anybody here picking the Knicks?
Not a single one.
No.
Not a single
Right.
soul on this earth.
No.
picking the
So-
Knicks, boy.
The injury, yeah, it was quiet. Nobody's picking the Knicks because they're like, they got Embiid, and y'all don't have your second best guy. I think the Knicks series could be interesting since we're on that topic because I could definitely see that series being a 7-game series. Like
if Jalen Brunson, I agree, if Jalen Brunson brings a gun and shoots Embiid in his fucking head, I think
I'm
it
telling
would
you,
be very interesting.
we all watched the
basketball
play in, and
wise,
Embiid is not
yeah.
the same movement guy right now. Go ahead, Jesse.
No, first off, for the Knicks, I think we sleep on them a little too much because Brunson is great. But the best part is they got a team that plays hard. I can't even say the man's last name. White
DiVincenzo.
Dante. There you go.
White Dante, yeah.
White Dante.
White Dante and Black Hartenstein.
Boy,
Which was wild.
Exactly.
I mean, is he really black? Are we sure about this?
Yes,
No,
they
I need a DNA
confirmed,
test.
they confirmed it.
Hey,
No, yeah,
real talk,
you can see
though,
the
real
pictures
talk.
on the internet with his parents, yeah.
They got
His
Hart,
dad's black.
who play with Hart. They got OG. Is he back now?
Oh, you talk about injury prone.
Yeah.
I don't even know if OG Anunoby is gonna play, but yeah, I think he's back at
He
the
back.
moment.
They got too many people that play hard, and it's not like no ego basketball. It's like, yo, we are literally trying to crush y'all. Like they don't play the way other people. They play almost like the Heat in that sense.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So,
I think because of that, I give him a shot. I mean, JP, I know you probably picked Philly, but is there any path that the Knicks get by Philly outside of? I mean, the obvious would be like if Embiid just can't play like the whole series or like something like that. But just like let's say Embiid plays, is there any path of the Knicks winning?
Half of Embiid is beating the Knicks by themselves, bro. I promise you, bro.
You're so disrespectful.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't like the Knicks. I never did. I don't even like it when they talk about them on ESPN. They talk about it's a great organization. No, they're not.
no, they're not.
But you like the Pelicans?
Yes.
Without Zion?
Yes, I would take the Pelicans without Zion and Brandon Ingram over the Knicks.
Oh,
That's how
you
much-
crazy.
That's how much I dislike the Knicks.
I understand.
Oh,
that.
you just dislike.
You
them.
don't like him. You don't like him.
Yeah. Okay. So it's just a dislike thing. Okay. I mean,
Can I ask a question though before you go, Nolan?
yeah.
I wanted to ask you all this question. If there's one team in the playoffs right now where a loss would cause them to blow up or cause the whole franchise to change its direction,
Mm.
what team do you think that would be?
That is
If
Because
if
I
a
a,
have an
team
idea.
that is a
if a
good.
team lost a series,
Yeah, like they lost a series and it
You mean
caused them to
like a
blow it up.
first
Like
round? You
first
mean
round
like a first
series.
round or?
first round, because I have a theory, and I think that's the Clippers. I think if they lose, I'm talking about. I think Paul George. I think Kawhi Leonard. I think it's a chance that this whole thing just blows up.
Honestly, I'm
You're
gonna be real. I think that could probably happen anyway.
yeah.
Because they're going into a new arena. Those guys are injury prone. They're older. They got player options. I mean, like there's a lot of there's just like a lot of options, really, no pun intended, that they can do. And yeah, even if they don't, I think their ceiling, like if unless they just got to the finals, even maybe I'll give them the conference finals. I just don't see a scenario where you can keep bringing back Kawhi and Paul George, and then especially if the season ends. This is the problem. If the season ends with one of those guys hurt, and like you lose the playoffs because the guys got hurt, you can't come back with that again. You just can't. Like you can't keep doing the same thing. Now, if they just lose because they lost, fine. But like you can't keep coming back if those guys just keep getting hurt.
No, Trey, I like the question. It's just a bad current circumstance because outside the Clippers, there's only one team that has the capability to blow up their organization. Like there is no like if you look through all these teams, ain't nobody about to move nobody like that.
No,
And
I give you one
Is it?
that
Is
I
it?
was
the
talking about
Pel-
before the podcast.
I was,
The Pelicans.
stop it. They're in the playing
you
game.
think they're gonna get rid of Brandon? I mean, they need to get rid of Ingram and McCollum low key, but
They need to
Oh,
get rid
oh,
of Zion
okay,
and
okay.
all the
So
buffets in New Orleans.
man,
I don't know what's worse, my hate for New York or your hate for Zion.
yeah,
I don't
the
hate
Zion
him.
the Zion thing is getting ridiculous. Just to fill Keem and Jesse in, we were talking about this, and one of my things I was selling stock on this year was I think the Pelicans should trade Brandon Ingram. And not because I don't like
yeah.
Brandon Ingram. He's a good player. I just don't like the fit with Zion.
Hmm.
And Trey's argument is I get it. You could probably get more for Zion, but I just think your ceiling, if you get a healthy Zion, is a bigger ceiling than Brandon Ingram, who also doesn't even stay that healthy to begin with anyway. So like that's
Yeah.
just my logic.
Yeah.
Go
If I
trade
play the
Brandon Ingram.
lottery,
Go trade
I can
Brandon
win 50
Ingram.
million.
Go trade Brandon Ingram, get a point guard. I threw out Trey Young. I'm not saying that trade would even work. I'm just giving you a point guard just for the sake of example.
Mhm.
And you could build the team around a point guard with Zion
Yeah.
and like the core piece, the Trey Murphys and Herb Jones. Herb Jones, we all agreed Herb Jones is the untouchable. You can't get Trey Jones
See,
and Herb
Herbo.
Jones in a trade. Yeah, so I mean that's how I feel about it. Trey, you could reiterate if you want. I don't know what logic you think you'd rather trade Zion over Brandon Ingram if you had to trade one. I think that's bananas.
I mean, I'm just going to keep it simple because JP has something to say, but I'm going to keep it simple. I just feel like Zion, we've done this 5 or 6 times in a row. I'm a huge Zion fan. I know that might come as a shock, but I really am a big fan. But we just done this 5 or 6 times. We see what the end result is. He's always hurt. He always comes in
No, but
the
it's
season out
different
of
though. He
shape.
got his stuff together now though.
And then he still got hurt, so that doesn't leave me with any confidence. That's why I'm saying that. Now, JP, you can go. You were going to give you. I think you were going to say a different team. I'm going to let you go ahead and take the stage.
I was gonna say the Bucks.
Ooh,
You think like Lillard type of like I see Lillard, but who else other than him?
It's Lillard. I don't think that was what they spent to get Lillard. I don't think. Then you also fired your head coach 14 games in,
Oh yeah,
and
you're right. I forgot.
now we got Doc Rivers who won one playoff series in 2008.
Mm,
Like
mm,
where we at now?
mm. Yeah, they for sure finna lose too. If Giannis ain't coming back.
So you think Indiana's beating them, Jesse?
I mean, if Giannis don't come back,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. But if Giannis
They
come
got-
back, I mean, Siakam versus
they got
Giannis gonna
Thomas.
be fun to watch. I ain't gonna lie, like that's gonna be fun to me.
Yeah. I'm glad you said to you, but the Giannis thing is interesting because
Well, you
he's
don't like
also starting.
long Africans playing basketball.
That's
Pause.
crazy, but the Giannis
yeah, that really
thing,
was crazy.
yeah, the Giannis thing is interesting to me because he's slowly, and he's my favorite player in the league, having these knick-knack injuries too now. Like it's kind of happening over and over. He had the sore Achilles, which of course when anybody hears Achilles, they get nervous. Now he's got the calf thing. It's just becoming a thing that, I mean, obviously you can't get rid of Giannis or anything like that, but I don't know what they can do because whatever time he comes back into this playoff series, he's not going to be 100% healthy. So I just don't know where Milwaukee goes. Now, I do think Dame can have some old Dame games now. I don't think Dame is like as washed as we think he is, like the way
He's
He's
played
not
this
washed,
year.
actually. I was looking at his numbers. Them things, they solid. He's just getting less touches. That's the only difference.
Yeah. I think so too. Yeah, I was like, I don't think he's like just like washed. So I think he could definitely like carry them in the playoff series as a main focal point. But obviously they can't go where they want to go unless Dame is, Dame and Giannis is on the floor at the same time. So that's what kind of worries me. But Jesse, I did want to get your thoughts real quick on the Brandon Ingram thing and Zion. Because if you were to trade one, is that too far off to think that they should probably even move Brandon Ingram? Or would you kind of run it back with the core? Because Trey's also other point he didn't mention just now was we haven't even seen that core enough together to even trade them. So my thing is I think I've already seen enough. I'm kind of good, but that's where we kind of butt heads there.
I think that they need a Drew Holiday-esque type point guard. Marcus Smart. You ain't got to be the best. I just need someone to play some defense because we gonna score the ball with Zion. Ingram, I would trade him personally too, but I mean that just depends on how his summer goes. Like I need him to have a healthy summer, focused on him doing what he needs to do. But I mean it goes either way. But depending on what you get in return, I think that's the biggest thing. And
Yeah.
Zion he's literally like a franchise. Like he changes your ticket sales. He changes like your excitement to watch them. And I'm not getting rid of that. Like, that's just me personally. I don't care how much you get hurt. I'm gonna keep that until like it keeps happening. And he had a good year this year. He played more games than he ever has. I think he's on the up and up. It's just that they need a defender, not like Herb Jones and Alvarado, but someone that could play both sides of the ball defender, a two-way player.
I like the Marcus Smart thing for the exception of you have to play Marcus Smart on offense as well. This isn't football, and that's the only problem.
That's
like
my dog.
Playing Marcus Smart the whole game is insane.
No, I'm just saying like that's an easy take, like getting Marcus Smart.
If you can get, I mean, I still think there's a scenario where Memphis, if they kind of get healthy,
Memphis is better be coming back, boy. They real.
Yeah, and they get some stuff together.
Yeah, but in the same regard, when you talk about New Orleans, they were just like the top team in the West a couple years ago when everybody's healthy. So like I'm like it's hard to like I think you made a phenomenal point when you said that it's hard to actually assess this team when we haven't seen all these guys healthy. And if I'm getting rid of Zion and Brandon Ingram just to add to the topic, I'm moving Zion not because of talent. But there's just too many food and eating options in New Orleans. So we have to.
He's an NBA player. He'll be able to eat wherever.
We have to move him.
I can't believe I actually took you seriously all the way up until that point.
To move him, bro. Like, we just have to, bro. There's too many food
I'm gonna be real
options.
with you. If Zion wants to eat, he could find food anywhere, bro. Like I'm not.
No,
that's not
bro,
a Zion exclusive thing. Anybody can find food anywhere. Like
he
bro,
go to Milwaukee. He go to Milwaukee. He ain't doing all that.
Exactly, bro. He go to Milwaukee or Indiana.
Okay, yeah.
Bro.
You think he not getting DoorDash when he's inside the house in 20-degree weather? All right.
And drinking Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
With an OnlyFans model.
Wisconsin known for cheese and milk, boy.
Oh
the
no!
Uber Eats is not coming through. There's gonna be snow days. They're not coming, bro. They're not coming.
Let me tell you something. Uber Eats coming through for the right price. Okay, Uber Eats coming through. All right, so listen. Uber Eats coming through for the right price.
And Mariah Mills.
Hey, she still be posting something about them.
Zion got the money. Ask his Snapchat, bro. Zion got the money. So don't worry about that.
He just go to like one of them up north teams and get a private chef
in the NBA.
So that's the thing. So he has a private. So this is what I was saying. They say he's turned it around because he hired a private chef. Now basically all this change happened after the in-season tournament when he embarrassed himself. He got a private chef. He lost 25 pounds. Now, the goal will be, can he keep the pounds off throughout the offseason and come to the season in shape? Because obviously you can't play basketball to then get in shape, right? So if he can do that, I think he'll have a healthier year, at least a shot at being healthier. It's basketball.
And I agree with you. But the scary thing about Zion to me, and I'm just looking at this just from like a historical standpoint, is he's played so many years out of shape and with all this weight on his legs that I'm not sure if he's going to be able to have a healthy career. Like I think he just might have did the damage. The damage is done. Where I just think he might continue to get hurt every year now.
So
Well,
what's
you
Brandon
wanted them
Ingram's
to
what's Brandon Ingram's excuse? Because he gets hurt every year.
Nah, Trey, did you believe in Steph then? I know you was a hater. I know you
Oh
was
no
a
no
Steph
no no!
hater.
I say he had toilet paper ankles, so I was wrong.
Oh my gosh.
I did. I remember those exact words that I was arguing with somebody. I was wrong. You're right. I was definitely wrong with stuff. That's a good point.
Okay, but what's Brandon Ingram's excuse? Because he gets hurt every single year, and he's been in the league longer.
That boy looked like he smoked weed 8
Bruh,
times
that's
a
what
day.
it is. Right before the game, they don't drug test him no more. He walking in.
He
So that's
floating.
my
He
thing
not
too.
walking. He floating.
If you had, and again, I'm not saying you have to trade one of the two, but actually I am. I'm saying you should trade Brandon Ingram. I'm gonna be real. If you are gonna trade one of the two, both of the guys are both injury prone. So then I'm like, I'm just gonna pick the guy that's better. Then it's not like the guy we're
But
getting is like more reliable as far as staying on the
it,
court.
it's not realistic. But this is why I'm the extreme approach, and it's not realistic. But the extreme approach is this year, David Griffin. If he has the ownership's backing, he looks and he starts really looking at this team and saying, "Is it worth possibly just blowing this up completely?"
Hey, Trey,
No, there's no way.
this
Their
is what it
roster's
is.
too good. Their roster's
Hey,
too good.
nah, this is what's gonna happen. You know, Griffin is the connect. He gonna draft LeBron James again and get his daddy.
You said who's gonna draft him?
He's gonna draft
Hey,
Bryant.
that's not a bad plan.
Drafting Bryant.
Hey, he gonna draft LeBron James like he did the first one, and then he gonna get his daddy on the team too.
Hey, then me and JP could both be Pelican fans.
We
Me
gonna
too.
all be
All of
Pelican
America.
fans.
Trade Brandon Ingram for a big Bron. Game over.
I don't know, man. I mean, the Bronny thing is a whole question itself. I don't even. Do y'all think he's really gonna come out this year?
Yeah, I think he's gonna come out.
The more
I think he's gonna
about
go
it,
like the Dallas or something.
bro, you know how many sorry dudes get drafted every year, or people that are talented and don't play get drafted. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might as well just spend a second round pick on the boy.
No, I agree. I think he should be drafted. I'm saying if he should, I think he should just go back to school for another year.
Oh, he should.
Probably better for him.
If he goes,
Yeah, if he goes out, he's gonna get drafted. But I just think
Now they
another
said
year
next
could-
year's class is gonna be too deep. They said
yeah,
for him.
I'm about to say if he goes back, he got to stay 2 years now
Yeah, that ain't happening, boy. He might as well leave now.
Oh, he would have to stay 2 years.
because
Well,
next year's
the
draft
next
is
year.
that much good. Is that much better than this one?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what if he gets better and improves his stock as well? We don't know where that's gonna be.
Yeah, he
Fair.
might as well do that in the league on the bench with his daddy by his side.
Also, a fair point. I mean, I don't disagree with any of that stuff. So I mean, it could kind of go either way. But listen, before we get out of here, let's talk about the Team USA because I know we wanted to bring this up. So we saw the roster. Kawhi got added last minute. Jesse, because I know you want to talk about this first. How you feel about the roster? And what was the surprise? Because you said that there was a surprise to you about the roster. I want to see if we're on the same page.
Yeah, I I love Drew. I didn't think Drew would have been on there. I thought it would have been like a Kyrie
Same.
or I forgot who the other person we were talking about. But that's kind of wild to me.
Yep. I thought the one of the old Kyrie or CP3 would get a spot. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
exactly. There you go. That's what it was. CP3.
Yeah. I thought Kyrie or CP. I'm honestly surprised that they went that young. JP, is it the same surprise for you too, or were you kind of like expecting this roster?
They needed a point guard that's gonna pick up full court though. Like I get
Yeah.
why they picked Drew.
Mhm.
You couldn't rely on Anthony Edwards doing that against everybody. Because again, with Steph's problem is he can't always pick up the best point guard. So like you have to have somebody that can pick up a guard or a wing on the floor with him at all times.
I like that.
Trey, what'd you think about the roster?
I like the roster. I will only say that Gilbert Arenas, he did bring up one great point where Kyrie not being on the roster. That seemed kind of odd. But again, Kyrie, he has a lot of off the court, I guess you want to call it issues. So like I can kind of understand him not being on the squad. And then Kawhi Leonard would be the only other one where I'm kind of like, hey man, this man can't even play game one in the playoffs. Should he really be on the Olympic squad? I mean, he's good enough. The talent is there, but like, bruh, you can't make it through a whole NBA season. Now you're gonna be playing after the season in the Olympics.
Ain't this his first one? Like with any
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Him and
Yes.
Steph have never gotten the Olympics. They've never been in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Steph has only been in FIBA.
Yeah, that's
Well,
So-
I think if they healthy trade though, you like Kawhi is clamping these boys up.
Oh, he is, but like it's
we're finally gonna get to be able to see Kawhi with the '90s rules, hand checking. We gonna see.
Listen, this is gonna be crazy because I was no, like I was saying, like the amount of fear they're going to put in their opponent's eyes. You imagine getting on the basketball court. You some foreigner, right? You like, oh yeah, we should play Team USA. You see your favorite basketball players, all of them. You see LeBron with Curry and KD and Embiid, and you get the choice of either a Kawhi or Jason Tatum and Edwards, whoever you want, and you just like, oh yeah, we're not gonna win, bro. I don't even know if I want to play no more.
I think I was surprised that they really actually did the 3 big man thing. That was kind of. I didn't really think Bam was gonna make it, to be honest. I thought it was just gonna definitely be Embiid and AD, and then they were just gonna go with another wing. Hakeem, any surprises to you to the Team USA team, or do you like the roster overall?
Yeah, the biggest surprise, more than Drew Holiday, because like you need that defense, but it was Tyrese Halliburton to me, which I do really like Tyrese Halliburton's game as a star. But like you think KD and Devin Booker and Jason Tatum need you think Tyrese is going to be the one handling the ball to give it to him? I think we would be like we'll be all baffled if we saw that happen. So like Tyrese. I'm not a fan of that. If that's the case, you might as well just put Kyrie. But you know how it is, bro, because it's like Team Nike. Nike is the one coordinating.
That's a good point.
I ain't even thinking about that.
So you know how that goes. So you know they wasn't. They're the board members.
What if that is why Kyrie didn't make it?
That's a good point.
Hold on.
Kyrie didn't make it.
I got another conspiracy on that. Kyrie didn't make it because of what he said about. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. But what he said, I think that's another reason why he didn't make it.
He's playing in France.
All right. Yeah. Let me just go in a different direction. So, two things that I think is surprising. The Kyrie Nike thing is a great point. One, Halliburton will be on that bench. So let's just keep it. It's gonna be a fun experience. He'll get to travel with the team, like eat with the team, all that good stuff. But like he will not be playing in games that are serious. But great for him. Second thing is, I always believe, and Jesse, I know we talked about this last time. Every USA team needs like one kind of like guy that's just willing to do the dirty work, and like not score. Whether it was like Iguodala, like you're right, you got a guy every time. And so when I would see names like Josh Hart and stuff like that, I was like, yeah, they're probably not going to make it. But I was like, well, maybe you kind of need one guy. And Drew Holiday would be the guy where he's just like, look, I'm not here to score. I'm not here to I'm just here to defend. Do everything physical. And if you look at the 3 point guards, they basically got 3 point guards that can do different things. Like, all right, you need a scoring point guard. You got Curry, right? Just to completely scare the heck out of the defense, give you buckets. You want the guy that's going to just, I don't care about scoring no points and facilitate everything to death and like push the pace. Like, because they're going to play a team at some point that's like probably like big and that doesn't want to run. And that's when you'd get a Halliburton like, yo, let's run the whole game. And then you got the Drew Holiday that does the dirty work. My point with the Kyrie and CP3 thing is, I thought LeBron would want one of those guys on the team, and usually if LeBron wants one of those guys on the team, he gets that guy on the team. So that was the only thing that was confusing.
Yeah, and I 100% think, obviously, when they were making this roster, like the Nike execs, LeBron was probably in there. He probably was like, "Hey, I want Kyrie," and Nike was like, "Yeah, no, brother, we're not doing that.
We are pay you $1 billion."
Are you surprised with the last? Is anybody surprised with the last spot with Kawhi? Because like I thought maybe Paul George could get the spot or Jimmy Butler. Like I'm honestly surprised Kawhi got the last spot.
I thought they was gonna pick a college guy like they normally do, or like a legit rookie, like first year guy.
Yeah, take like Chet or Paolo.
Who would be the best? Who would be the best American rookie?
Paolo.
Yeah, I would say Paolo.
Yeah, Paolo or Chet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Paolo. So they I guess they could have did the Paolo or Chet move over a Bam. I wonder why they picked
Bam. No, boy. I think
I'm keeping Bam.
Crucial.
I'm keeping Bam.
It's like Bam is the insurance policy for when one of them get hurt.
Yeah.
Oh no, why you had to say it like that? Though?
No. To be real with you, the 2 most injury-prone guys on the team.
Yeah, you're right.
Outside, okay, I guess Kawhi. I guess you could put Kawhi in there.
Hey, Joel could be like, Bam, my bad. I can't do his voice. Hey, y'all heard Tyrese Maxey do Joel Embiid impersonation?
Because I ain't gonna lie, you go overseas with Embiid and AD, you asking a lot for them guys to like.
That's too funny.
The best thing that happened to us was Joel Embiid playing for Team USA, so they don't got to see them.
Yeah.
Because he's one of those players that can win a game by himself. So,
bro, you saw what happened with Cameroon. They said he ain't invited back ever again.
Yes. To the country?
Yes.
Why?
He wouldn't come back anyway.
So the president was like, he's done with him.
Good. He wasn't coming back. It's all good.
I ain't gonna lie. He's rich. I ain't gonna lie. He's rich as hell.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. If he want to catch a flight, he catching a flight back. Boy, I don't know.
He catching a flight.
Like he can buy it.
Don't catch that flight. End up like Brittany, stuck.
Oh no!
Oh.
No! That'd be tragic.
Oh Lord.
Oh man, but yeah. Anyway, let's wrap it up. I want to thank everybody so much for joining us once again. Thank all you guys for coming on. It was cool to get all of us at the same place at the same time at once to do this. Actually, we're not the same place, but at the same time to do this. Like, subscribe, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff. Trey, man, close us out.
Hey man, I just want to say thank you again to Jesse, JP, and Hakeem, for joining us today. We really do appreciate it. We're gonna have you guys back on. I mean, it was just a fun podcast. So again, appreciate you guys for coming on. Like always, until next week. Peace.